I talked a few episodes ago about how I started wearing sunglasses as a meme in my videos. And that got me thinking about why I wear pajama pants all the time. This is also a meme. And this has been true for a very long time, to the point that I can't remember a time before it. And I don't entirely know how it happened, but I think I kind of do. And it has to do with when I went through puberty and like at what time I did so, and how I sort of saw myself at the time. Because when I was a kid, I just dressed fairly normally. I mean, I wore a lot more Pokemon t-shirts than most kids, but like most of my clothes came from the Gap or like Old Navy, as is true of most children, I think, in like middle class environments. And I just looked like a fucking kid. Now I looked weird because I had long hair for most of my life, and everyone made fun of me and said I looked like a girl, which was true. And I wore glasses, so I got made fun of for that. So I got picked on all the time, but like it wasn't because of my clothes. It was just my general appearance and demeanor. But when I started going through puberty and really having a growth spurt was when I was 14, and that was when my family moved to the ghetto, and it was really a perfect storm of just the worst. Like, this is what led to me becoming depressed, and that depression lasted until I was like 20. I mean, I still fall into depression sometimes, but this was like a serious magnitude of depression, of like clinical depression that I was in for a very long time. And it was really just a result, and I'll tell this whole fucking story some other time, but it was just a result of like us moving into the ghetto, me having no friends, and me going through puberty all at the same time. But I was growing rapidly, and my family couldn't really afford to buy clothes. Like, we were pretty fucking broke. We were pretty strapped when we lived in the ghetto. And I never really cared about clothes. Like, everything I wore was stuff my mom had picked out for me. Like, we'd go clothes shopping, and I would just kind of let her get whatever looked good. Like, maybe I'd point at a shirt and go, oh, that one's got a Pokemon on it, let me wear that one, but like, for the most part, I didn't give a shit. And so, at this age, I kind of started to care about how I looked, but I was also starting to look like something I didn't want to look like. This is where I started to experience some like gender dysphoria, especially over the fact that I was getting fat. As everybody does when you start puberty, you get chubby. But I never stopped being chubby. I have pretty much weighed the same since since then, at least it seems that way. Maybe I did gain weight and didn't realize it, but I think since at least when I was like 16 or 17, I pretty much hit like the 170, 180 range, and I've never fallen below it, except for that one time I was working out a few years back. But anyways, I got chubby, and I was really unhappy about it, because I really wanted to look good, and I had shitty facial hair, and just generally I looked like garbage, but I didn't know what to do about it. Like, I didn't know how to look good, and I lived in the ghetto, and like, I was the only white kid. Like, I was literally one of 5 white kids in my entire school at the time. No one paid attention to me. No one cared about me. No one was paying me any mind. Everybody just ignored me all the time, And like, so there was no real incentive to try to look good. There was no real incentive to try to like be different. So I kind of just acted shy and quiet, and I grew out my facial hair, and it looked really bad, and I had super long hair that looked really bad. I would never brush it, and because I couldn't really buy new clothes, I just started wearing my dad's hand-me-down sweatpants, because I would say, I don't know if I was quite my dad's height yet, but like, I am the exact same height as my dad. So like, by the time I finished growing, I was my dad's height. And he had a whole bunch of like old sweatpants, and I thought they were really comfortable. And it was also winter time when we lived in the ghetto. So like, I started wearing sweatpants all the time. Like, I was just wearing my dad's sweatpants, and that was just what I wore, was sweatpants. And they were really comfortable. And then I remember when I was 14, maybe 15, this was after the ghetto, this is like the next house over, I'd gone through all this dysphoria and confusion over myself, and I thought I was bisexual. And I had made a MySpace page that said I was bisexual and had some like stuff about how I'd had my heart broken and I was looking for looking for new relationships and stuff because I'd had my heart broken in an online thing. And I mustered up the courage and added my mom as a friend. Now my mom immediately, this is all revelation to her. She now thinks I'm like her gay son and immediately tries to take me out to go clothes shopping. Now, I was so shy and quiet this whole time. I didn't want to talk to her about anything because I wasn't sure about anything, So I didn't want to talk to her about anything. We went out to Hot Topic because I'd been shopping at Hot Topic for their anime shirts for a hot minute, but like we were gonna go for some real clothes. So I bought these like real skinny pants that were like pinstriped or whatever. Like they were like black with like yellow and white stripes. They were all right looking, I guess, but I found them completely uncomfortable because they were like tight, crotch hugger, like they're fashion pants, and I quickly realized that they're not for me because I don't know, I didn't think I looked good anyways. Like I looked at myself and went like, I'm still like fat, and at the time I always wore double XL shirts. I didn't realize that makes you look bigger, I don't know. I never understood clothes. Like I literally didn't understand clothes until I was fucking deep into college. But and by then it was too fucking late for me. But like, yeah, those pants just were so uncomfortable and they would hug my fucking dick so much. I always felt like I had a cock bulge in them and I hated it. And like, just because of that, I was just like kind of defaulting to sweatpants as like nothing else is comfortable. Well, slowly, pajama pants started getting cycled into the sweatpants. And I'm not entirely sure how. I think my early pajama pants were more resembling sweatpants. And then, like, gradually the old hand-me-down sweatpants started fading away. And pajama pants came in. Because pajama pants, where sweatpants are too thick. You can't wear them unless you're fucking cold. And they usually had, like they grip your ankles, and I really hate that. And just like they're all around like tighter around the waist, looser around the legs. I'm just not a fan. Pajama pants are much more form-fitting and like they're nice and I like them. So yeah, gradually I don't know how I initially got pajama pants. Like I don't know what the first pair was, but when my mom caught on that I was like wearing pajama pants, she started buying me them all the time. Like most of my pajama pants were bought by my parents. Like my mom would just find like goofy ones that she thought were funny and buy them for me. So like the Ninja Turtle, the Ninja Turtle ones I saw myself actually. That was pretty well into it. But like the Dr. Pepper pajama pants, for instance, are like she just saw a goofy pair of Dr. Pepper pajamas and thought I would like it, and it became my favorite pair of pants, Or like she would and then she found out there was like pajama shorts, and so she got me those too. So like all my clothes became pajamas. And once that started to become like an identity, once I started to be like, yeah, I'm a guy who wears pajama pants, that's when it became like, okay, now my mom's really gonna go in search of novelty pajamas, and like I would find them too. But I'm also someone who doesn't swap out my wardrobe much. Like, a lot of my pants and shirts have been with me for nearly 10 years, I'm only just now starting to be someone who cycles out clothes. Like, most of my shirts are newer now, because all my old shirts were double XL, so those are all fucking gone. I gave them all to Goodwill. Most of my shirts now are, like, from the last 5 years or so, when I learned how shirts work. But, I've recently started purchasing pajama pants, because strangely enough, pajama pants seem to be, I think they're catching on. Like, I have seen more people wearing them over time. Like, in the time since I've been wearing them, I've seen more people show up in public in pajama pants. I think more people are adopting it as an aesthetic. And, like, my biggest problem with a lot of them is that they don't have pockets. Like, lots of them are lacking in pockets or just, like, kind of weird. And, like, they're too different from each other. Like, there's no standard for pajama pants. So, it was difficult to find ones that, like, fit well and have pockets and are good. And I would find them at thrift shops and shit like that. But then recently, May and I had 2 different incredible shopping trips. One where we walked into like a J.C. Penney or something in this mall that was like across the city. And like the first thing I walk up to is this enormous pajama pants section. Like literally more pajama pants in one place than I've ever seen in my life. And there's a photo that May took on Twitter of me standing in it, like with my arms spread open, that I'd found Valhalla. And I bought like 4 pairs because they were expensive as fuck. I spent like $120 on 4 pairs of pajamas or some shit like that. It was ridiculous, but God, no, it couldn't have been 120, right? It was definitely like $80. Let's say that. We'll say it was $80 because it was like buy 4 and they're something off. So I want to say it was like $75-$80 on 4 pairs of pajama pants, but they are 4 really phenomenal. Like all 4 have great patterns. They're really comfy and fuzzy, and they've got pockets. And I was like, this is the highest tier pajama shopping I've ever done. And then just the other day, we happened to pop into Burlington Coat Factory, and all their pajama pants, which are similar, they're not quite as high quality. They're not as thick, with 2 C's. But they are pretty good, and they got pockets and they got good patterns. I picked up 3 pairs, $10 each. I couldn't resist. I literally could not resist. As soon as I saw $10, I was like, oh, I'm walking out of here with pajama pants. Like, I'm finding the ones I like. And I did, and it was glorious. So yeah, I guess that's how that meme started. Like, I still don't remember what the first pair was. Maybe my mom could tell me, but it just spawned out of not having a wardrobe and wearing my dad's sweatpants all the time.